Good morning and welcome to another edition of Power Talk. Power Talk is a radio program brought to you by the St. Kitts Electricity Company Limited, where we share with you all of the latest updates and happenings at SKELEC. This morning I'm joined by two superintendents at the Transmission and Distribution Division of SKELEC, and we are going to be speaking about outages. Whether they are planned or emergency outages, we just want to be able to explain to the listening audience, our viewers, whether you're online or you are tuned in listening, how our outages work, what are some of the reasons why we have outages. And I couldn't have this show without bringing two of my favorite SKELEC persons with me. So I will allow them. They're very popular. They're superstars. So every time I'm with them, I feel like I'm in the presence of royalty because I know people are tuned in just to hear them. You see how many calls we get to the GQ. But I will allow these gentlemen to introduce themselves. Good morning, gentlemen. How are you doing?
Good morning. Good morning. Javid Gilbert, Control and Operations Superintendent.
Ricardo Gardner, Plan and Development, Construction and Maintenance Superintendent.
All right, so Mr. Gardner and Mr. Gilbert, thank you for joining us this morning as we discussed planned outages and emergency outages.
Always a pleasure.
It's always a pleasure to discuss outages.
Always a pleasure to be in your company.
Oh, lovely. Okay. So let's start by explaining to the public what is a planned outage and what is an emergency outage. What's the difference between both of them?
Okay, I will start the opening, the batsman. So the planned outages and the emergency outages. The difference, the planned outages, as it stated, planned outages. These are outages that we will notify the public within 48 hours of the outage. Emergency outages, these outages do happen when we have issues on our transmission and distribution system. Probably a customer see a burnt pole, and then because of that, we do our assessment, and then we recognize we need to do an emergency outages. For these are some of the various reasons why we will have these form of emergency outages. So I think that cover.
But we didn't really go in depth about the planned outages. Mr. Gardner, I know your team does a lot of work that requires planned outages. So tell us what are some of the reasons why we would have planned outages. What are we doing? Why we need to take off the power?
Maintenance of the grid, replacement of rotten poles, upgrade conductors. That would be the basic.
That's for your team.
Yeah.
But some of the other reasons why we have planned outages as well, it could be to deal with vegetation.
Yeah, cutting of trees.
Cutting of trees. And again, as we speak about cutting of trees, SKELEC's tree cutting program is to remove trees or shrubbery or vegetation, branches from SKELEC infrastructure. It is not if you have a tree in your yard and you need it pruned. Because we get these calls all the time and people are mad upset about us not coming to cut the trees, but it is for the removal of the vegetation from SKELEC infrastructure. So just a plug there, so especially as hurricane season is approaching. So the planned outages are important. It's when we have a planned work. Over the couple of weekends we have been doing some work, and that is complete in the Bastille North area, and that required us taking off power, and we will always let you know 48 hours in advance. So for people who are like, well, I didn't know how it is going, but you have to stay tuned to SKELEC. We are very good at putting out the notices, letting the public know what is happening, whether it is by WhatsApp or on social media, on the website with the different radio stations. So please stay tuned. So why is it beneficial to customers and the company in the long run when we have these planned outages?
System maintenance wise, as I mentioned earlier, pertaining to the upgrade of the grid, provide a better voltage and even a safer environment to the public, because once you replace rotten poles, you minimize the hazard within the area pertaining to a lean over pole or a pole falling into the road or something like that.
Yes, it's basically improving our reliability, our structures, our lines, and also, as Mr. Gardner pointed out, efficiency, improvement of voltage. You know, sometimes customers call that they're having low voltages, and these are things that we have to correct, because having low voltage could lead to things that could cost the customers and probably even cost us, because they could also damage our equipment.
Yes.
Yes.
So we're doing these outages, and they're beneficial to prevent future hazard, to improve the state of the grid. Hurricane season is coming, so we'll be going out looking for leaning poles, and we look forward to you, members of the public, being our eyes and ears to call and report for us, because we can't see the entire 68 square miles of St. Kitts. So we need you to assist us by calling in. What are some of the reasons why we have emergency outages, and how does SKELEC respond to them? So what would be a typical reason why we get a call at 2 a.m. for an outage?
Sometimes vehicle accidents.
Not sometimes, Mr. Guys, a lot of times.
Most of the time, vehicle accidents. Go back to bushfire. This is the dry time. Yeah, fire hazard, and probably animals jumping across the line, such as monkeys.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Never heard about that one. You're not telling me about that one.
That happened. That happened.
Monkeys, birds, you know, coming across the line, cause an outage, and maybe during that time when we have high winds, and then the
Weather conditions.
weather condition, all of those permit those form of outages. Lead up to those outages that we have to take off to rectify any broken down equipment and the lines.
And also sometimes we have those large vehicles or trucks that may have pulled on our lines as they're traversing, whether it is taking a corner or going through a narrow road.
Sometimes they touch other customers.
And so that's something we want persons to be mindful of. And also, if we have any equipment failure on our end, that sometimes causes outages. Sometimes we have which is not as often, not very often. I know people think it's often, but it's not very often. We might have a difficulty at the plants, and in order to prevent an island-wide shutdown, we will do some controlled outages. So removing some load off of the grid. So that's also important for persons to know. So we don't turn off power unless it is absolutely necessary. Please, gentlemen, help me to reassure the public that we do not turn off power.
Yes, correct.
Unless it is absolute. And even your team sometimes will work in areas where power is still
present. Yes.
It's still on. You're working in live areas because you don't want to take people off. Yes. And you're using your appropriate PPEs to make sure that you're doing that safely. What you say, Mr. Gardner?
We do that a lot.
Do that a lot. So I want people to know that we're not just, look at the SKELEC. I need people to listen, right? People turn SKELEC employees into real enemies, real enemies, thinking that we turn off the power. So when these emergency outages how do we respond? What's our response mechanism?
Okay, when the emergency outages do happen, our first responders will come, do an evaluation of the area, see what is needed, and if more power probably sometimes that needs to be taken off, or the downlines need to be taken off. Like for instance, last week we had some downlines at Limekeel, and our lovely HR manager, she went and direct traffic, she called us, and then we came, and then we also removed the lines and work on getting back the customers' powers as soon as possible. So it's a team effort, not only at transmission and distribution, but we see that the administration, we see that power station, we see that also here with Miss Harris and her team. So it's an all-around thing, and that safety. So we try to look out for the best interest of the company and also our customers.
So when these emergency outages do occur, sometimes it's a small team that can respond, but as you just mentioned, sometimes it's a very large operation that has to take place. Sometimes we might have to get the metering team involved. We have to get the construction team. We might have to come out and plant poles. That's Mr. Gardner's team. Get the backhoe. All of these things have to happen in order for persons to get power back.
And also involve the other utility companies, because
flow and cable.
They have infrastructures there also.
Lovely. So when it comes to your planned outages, we put out a planned outage schedule every week. almost every week once we are having these outages. How do we determine which areas are going to be off, how long, the different days? How do we determine what are the factors that contribute to how we put that schedule together?
First, we start with an inspection of the area. We will do that like a week in advance. You gather the information to get the job complete. You check to see the amount of linesmen you might need, how many poles. Basically, you check everything pertaining to the area, even the consumers, the service lines. You do a full inspection of the area, and then you just put the work information together, and then you just organize the outage.
So the outages tend to last, I think we have like a typical duration.
9 to 3 most of the time. If you run into any challenges, then we will just seek the way going forward to extend the outage time. And so we could do a next announcement that outage would exceed.
Extended. You were saying, Mr. Gilbert?
Yes, and also we look at how we can limit the number of customers being affected also. So we don't just go and just say we're taking off this wide area. If we can say if there's maintenance work needs to be done within 2 particular areas, and we say okay then this part of if we do this job down Old Road, and we say okay then we can work on the Frankland area, and then after we finish we backfeed from somewhere else that we can give back these customers that were out. So we find ways to minimize the outages. So it's a plan.
I'm happy that you mentioned that, because even recently with the project that we were doing with the Bastion Art that started from the hospital area all the way down to UHMS.
Yes.
We know there's a belt of churches down that road with Nima and in the area in general. And we really did some work to ensure that these outages that would have been taking place over 6 weeks on the Sundays did not primarily impact the churches in that area, so persons would have been able to worship. So I want people to know and understand these things. I know it was it was an inconvenience to persons, but from a lot of the reports I've been getting, like power good down there, like people are saying they're really seeing an improvement. So hopefully that is the case for everyone, and we really needed to get that project done, and it's the first of many more projects to come. We have Mr. Gardner, who really headed that project, and we want to say thank you, Mr. Gardner, on behalf of the people in that area and on behalf of the general public in general. Thank you for leading that project. We had about 40, 50, how many people we had on Sundays?
I think 35
between 35 persons coming out, giving up their Sundays in order to get this project going. So we want to thank you for that, and just let the public know that those are some of the things that we do to make sure that we aid the members of the public, because we are customers ourselves. So I know there were some Sundays I didn't have power, but we are customers ourselves, and we want you to know that we think about you in everything that we do. So let's talk about the climatic conditions, weather conditions. How does that impact our ability to provide services? And it's not even only during hurricane season. No, it's sometimes on a regular basis, and often enough. Let me not say regular, often enough. How do weather conditions, climatic conditions, impact our ability to provide power and cause the outages that we see?
Yes, well, being out in the field, and you go about seeing what's taking place. Sometimes you see high wind, and it's like the lines them, like they fall off of the binding, and that would cause an outage. Like things would simply pop up at times. You think that probably maybe we had scheduled maintenance for next week, but the outage. Okay, we have a call?
Oh yes, we have callers. I was letting you finish, and I was gonna put on my headphones so we can hear from. They didn't even wait for me to the GQ. They didn't wait. They didn't even wait. My headphone isn't plugged in. Can you plug in this one, please? Oh, that's your iPhone. Okay. All right. Carla, good morning. You are live.
Hi, morning.
Good morning.
Good morning, Ms. Harris. Keep up the good work that you're doing. Just reminding you about that toll down there by the Gums building. I'm not sure if a work order is in,
Which building?
you know. By Gums, that's when you come in class of 1925, coming from opportunity, heading into Challengers. I would have sent you a
Okay, so
video.
yes. When I came this
Yes.
morning, I told GQ, I was on the road yesterday afternoon. I went to look for all of these places that people were telling me about. So
And that's very good, you know. And I will continue to point out things of interest, and then you will decide whether it is urgent, But that's all I'm gonna do.
Okay, I
And as a
appreciate you
media,
for that,
stuff comes to me,
Bucky.
and as usual, I'll try to share them with you, so at least you could look into it.
Thank you. We did
And I
go.
must admit, I love the work the guys are doing, especially when they have scheduled maintenance, and they have the road blocked off. They actually stand to assist in diverting the traffic because it's very important. And traffic talk this morning, that was one of the issues that comes up about when there's a work order, the diverting of traffic not being done properly. But I must admit, right, SKELEC always try to divert the traffic, supposed to know exactly where they're going and where to exit. So even you have the guys working, you have guys on the ground assisting with the traffic. So good work in that area.
Thank you, Bucky.
No problem.
All right, so let me respond here to two things. The pole down in that area on the bend after you get out of, I think it's Trinity, before you get into Challengers. That's not our pole. Now, I know people see poles and they think all of the poles are SKELEC poles. Not all of them are our poles. We did go and do an investigation yesterday. That's a cable pole. And we have been in constant conversation with these other utilities about helping to maintain the infrastructure and their infrastructure as well. They do have infrastructure on our poles. So that pole in particular is a cable pole. I got a call someday from Mr. Dynabert down in Camps area. We went down there. That's also another cable pole that's leaning. So those are not our poles. As it relates to the diversion of traffic, I want to take this opportunity to encourage motorists and pedestrians. When SKELEC crews are working, this is not an invitation for you, meaning for you to come and see and loiter around. It's very, very, very high risk areas. And that is why you have to adhere to whatever detours or instructions our crews are given to you. It is for given to you. It is for your safety and ours. You come and you walk. We have persons who are climbing. We have just a lot of movement with vehicles. We don't want to increase your chance of being injured on these job sites. Sometimes we have trenches open. Sometimes we're working with live power. You do not need to be in those areas. So please adhere to the rules. I know sometimes, I tell you, I'm out in the field on Sundays and the things I see and hear when people are driving and the things that they're saying to you because you are prohibiting them from driving to the work area. They say very nasty and mean things. So I want the members of the general public to stop it. Stop it. Really try to be respectful to our crews when they're working. Don't give them any curse words or tell them what you think about them. It's because they're there to protect you. If we tell you don't drive this way, it is because it is not safe for you to drive this way. Mr. Mr. Gilbert, I said it right. I said the challenges that y'all are facing.
Yes, correct.
Please, I don't want you to tell me on the radio what they tell you, because I'm going to tell y'all very mean things. GQ, I see another caller. We'll take that caller. Good morning, caller. You're live.
Good morning, only me one. You could do as you like. I got to wait until you don't talk this and talk that and say everything. But anyway, sorry, lady. Good morning, my daughter-in-law, my sorry lady.
You have a lot of sorry for me. You can't use me like this
what?
again or nothing for me, eh?
Watch here. Thanks for not giving the light in my backyard.
Oh, God.
Thank you for not giving the light in my backyard.
We got to go down the road, Mr. Gilbert and Mr. Gardner, to look at a light pole down there, the light keep area by Miss Louisa Jeffers. She gave me a wonderful reminder.
You just want to come that everybody could see me and everybody telling me, girl, you big and SKELEC. I say, oh, big long time. I work with SKELEC a lot of years. And those are my number one working agent in the federation. And if I make any noise, I tell them, cut off everybody's lights because they got the power to cut off everybody's lights when I do them wrong. Cut off the GQ one and all, mine and all. Cut off, they got the power to do everything. But I want to thank you all for your service. Thank everybody, all my girls and boys down there. the number one working place in the federation. And my
You don't see these
boys.
cars.
Come fix me up. Everybody telling me about this picture. Tell me I could go on the world wide up in America and act and everything. Thank you. I was escorted straight down by the cleft heel of that day. But I had a bad day down there with them cricketers. Never again I'm going back down there. Never again I don't tell 3 o'clock. Never again I'm going back down there. So I just said the light saying on yet and please help me out.
We're gonna sort it out. I'm bringing the right two gentlemen here today.
And you keep up the good work.
Thank you. And thank you for being in our video. Thank you.
Okay, bye.
Bye. We have another caller, GQ. I can't comment on the lookout. All right. Good morning, caller. You're live.
Yes, good morning. I just want to say good morning to my nephew there. He left his stick. He always put himself out to go to work. But one thing I'm going to tell him on the ear, my birthday was on Monday, and he forget to call his loving
Which one of you did to call your aunt on Monday?
Auntie Orita. I always out for him. When he get burned up, I was the one who went to Anguilla with him. You know, I love him. People jealous about him because I always said that's my loving nephew. I love him to get our God to continue to bless him and take care of him and his 3 children. Love you, David.
Yeah, I love you too, Auntie.
Good morning.
GQ, I told you so when we came into this one, you know, I said we have a lot of excitement that's going to come. I see we have another caller. Good morning, caller, you're live.
Hey, good morning, SKELEC.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Yes, and good morning to the listeners home and abroad. Carl Brown here. Yes, your manager was there in Pine Garden yesterday and we had our discussion. And they asked me to put plastic bags on the post or little area where the light is out. So guys, the bags are on the post. When you come to today, you will see all the poles where the light is out.
Okay, so I'm going to need you to let me know because they should have already started some work last night. So tonight, let me know.
They didn't reach my area.
Okay. Thank you. But thank you for letting the public know that we came yesterday and we had our conversation with you and we're going to start the work. Okay, Carl Brown?
Yes, and I must say, thanks, we're not getting a lot of outage now.
God is good.
So you know we have to big up your guys. Oh, and the cleaning team. Let them continue to do the cleaning. They do a very good job on the weekend when they come out to clean.
Okay, I'll let them know. He said, Ike, it's a girl?
Yes, I have a cleaning team that trim the trees from off the wire and the poles and thing and the waste and the bush and everything that goes across the electrical wire and across the roads, and so they do that on a weekend.
All right, so I'll let the manager of that team know, and Mr. Graham's supervisor is here this morning at the station with me, so I know he's going to take back those commendations to Mr. Graham.
And let them come out on Saturdays, you know, if you all are not too busy, and you all did some nice work going on there by us on Saturday. Well, SKELEC had a powerful team there.
Had a what team?
A powerful team.
Oh, we are a powerful team.
Yes. Man, many vehicles, many workers, and one thing I was upset about, the drivers. They had the young lady there directing the traffic, and they're abusing the lady, and they see that it's something good that they were doing for everybody. And they were giving the lady some word, man, because they had to wait a few minutes for the backer to move and for the truck them to assemble themselves and, you know, position to get the work done and get back the people current.
Yes, so I already spoke to the public this morning. We really want you to discontinue that type of behavior. It's really just a small inconvenience for a short space of time, and there is a detour. But Calvin, thank you. We know that you are on our side, so thank you. Have a wonderful day today, okay?
Yes.
All right. We have another caller. I think I heard some. No? All right. We do? All right. Let's go. Good morning. Good morning, caller. You're live. Okay, that one dropped. Okay, looks like we're good. And no, once I have these two gentlemen, these see? Told you these phones would not stop ringing today. Good morning, caller. You're live.
Good morning, sexy. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm glad to hear your voice. I forget my birthday the other day. When's gone?
You told me to give a bottle of wine or something to who, Marvet?
Yeah. Oh, ma, will you give her?
No, I'm going to sort it out. Don't worry, Paula. I have you. I got you. Don't worry. You don't stress yourself at all.
Okay. I'll leave the number with her to get my bill back.
To get your bill back?
Remember you tell me you're going to give me a number. Somebody gone with the bill. I wasn't living here yet.
Okay, so I have customers. But then how am I going to reach you? You gave me your number already? You told me
Yes,
Jicky had it,
the
but
number in the system that I said.
Jicky don't want to give me a number, so you have to give me a number, Paula.
We don't have a number.
Okay.
Give me a number, Paula.
766
Mm-hmm.
62 23.
All right, Paula. So customer service will reach out to you for the issue you have with your bill, okay?
Yes.
All right.
And my aunt died on my birthday. Elva from SP with the best speed.
I'm so sorry to hear that, Paula. I'm so sorry
Yes.
to hear that,
Yes.
okay? So my condolences to you. All right,
I'm
Paula.
going to get a man who come who look at the electric. That's that I said.
All right. So, Mr. Gardner, please big up Yellow Man
Will do.
for looking after Paula, okay? All right. Thank you so much, Paula. So, Jicky, I'm going to start to wrap up my program here this morning. I think I gave everybody a fair opportunity to call in. Oh, there's one last caller. I'll take the one last caller. Good morning, caller. You're live.
Yes, good morning, SKELEC. Good morning.
Morning.
Yeah, good morning.
I saw what happened down there with the young lady, and it's sad that we as big people behaving like that. Good morning, Lulu. This is Jam Down. I want to tell you up Mrach Street, when you're coming from south going north, when you reach right on the top, you got a light right there, facing before you swing to go over the bridge to go over by the Moravian Church. It's out a while, and we need it to fix.
Okay.
We really need it to fix. And I've been walking the other night through the 5 Ways Alley coming through. You almost send around people to look and see where the light them need is out, because we got a lot of people coming in this country, and I want them to know we got laws here, you know. And then do what you like where you do in your country. When you come here, Act 2 are going on here. Good morning.
All right, thank you so
Morning,
much.
thank
So, Mr. Gilbert, I know the teams have been out working on the lights. They've been doing it in areas. Do you know if they have been able to touch that areas yet, or are we gonna send somebody just to deal with that area?
Yes, we'll deal with it.
Okay, we'll do it with that area. So we have been doing the street lights maintenance and replacement by areas and in batches. And we really have been trying to clean up the backlog that we do have. So we don't mind you calling and letting us know where some of these are. So again, if you want to make a report, the first place to start is our emergency hotline. That is 465-2013. You can also dial 600 from a cell phone. You can even message us on Facebook. You can message us on email. You can send us an email. You can message us on eBiz. You can use IVR, which is our auto attendant, 465-2000. You can leave a message there. We're checking those as well. You can come into our customer service department, speak with one of our representatives, and they will take note of the challenge that you're having, and they will create a service order. You can ask for your service order, hold on to your service order, so when you call to ask for updates, you can give us back that service order and we can provide you with an update. So it's not a linear process, it's not an easy process, it's a lot that we are managing and doing. Sometimes our team is not as big as it's supposed to be, or we don't have the manpower, but we always work to make sure we get this done. I want to really thank those crews, those technicians from both of the teams represented here today, control and operations, the construction and maintenance, and planning and development, for ensuring that they respond to the calls, our metering team, ensuring that they respond to the calls, and we do what is required to ensure that we have a reliable service, that we're reliable. Mr. Gilbert, Mr. Gardner, your parting words to the lovely members of the public, all of your fans. Let them know what you want to leave with today.
Yes, thank you again, Patrice, for the opportunity, and also the general public. And this is something I would like to say, without the public being in our favor, we would not be where we are today. So with your support, calling in, giving us the reports that we need to know, we will work to develop a better and healthier customer relationship, and also what the public does do for us in providing those information help us to act also, so it also improve our efficiency and our services to our public. So thank you very much.
All right, Mr. Gardner.
Yeah, we just want to say a special thanks to each and everyone, and let's continue to maintain a positive communication.
All right, so again, if you do, it's best for you to stay up to date with all that is happening at SKELEC, especially as it relates to our outages. We do have a WhatsApp channel. It's called SKELEC Updates. On Facebook and Instagram, we are SKELEC, St. Kitts Electricity Company Limited, SKELEC St. Kitts on Instagram. Our website, www.skelec.kn. Our phone numbers to call, 465-2000, 465-2013, or 600 from a cell phone. It's very important that you help us to be our eyes and ears on the grid. Call and let us know what challenges you are experiencing, so that we can do our best to ensure that we respond to you. Because despite what you think, we're a company that really loves our customers. We really do what is best to ensure that you remain with electricity for as long as possible. And that's why we are the nation's leading utility provider, and we wouldn't have it any other way. So thank you for joining us on air this morning. We'll be back next month, and we're appreciating our linemen next month. It's Linesman Appreciation Day next month, so we'll have our linemen on air. All right then, bye bye guys.